Hey viewers, and in today's video we're going to be doing a small design system for alt artist, and this time we're going to be using an iOS 14 kit by Joey Banks. My name is Roy, I'm a web designer. If you do find the content useful, please leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and let's get into the video. I decided to go with Stereo Funk typeface or font because I felt it fits the brief, it's unique, it's retro. So yeah, we're going to go with that, and the icon is just the first letter. So we're just going to be doing some very nice simple things like toggles, volume controls, the length of the song, buttons, more media controls, different types of thumbnails, dark and light images. So we're just going to touch on our huge gigantic to-do list, but hopefully it is not going to be too bad. So just want to put in there that right at the end, we're probably not going to do straight in the video. We're going to do this probably in a separate video where there's the new interactive components. So you'll have to sign up for this in the beta. I'll leave some links in the description if you're interested, but this is a very exciting big feature from Figma. So to kick this off, let's just go through some of the bits. So iOS 14 UI kit by Joey Banks. Now, question mark. So to get this kit, you just have to go to Figma community and just type in iOS 14 kit. And you'll see here by Joey Banks. If you go into it, I would highly advise you to get this, just duplicate it. And the reason why it's a good idea to get this and to get familiar with it is because if you're going to design for iOS, you could just use a lot of the default styles and colors, and there's a lot of good stuff in here. They got everything in here. So tabs, segmented controls, a whole bunch of stuff, lists. So again, it's good just to get a bit familiar with it. So once you have that, once you've duplicated it, what you then need to do is to publish the styles. To publish styles, when you open up the duplicated file, you just have to go to assets, and then you go to this icon here, and what you'll see here is a publish button. But depending on what membership you're on, I'm currently on free. I can't get the components, but I can publish the styles. So styles are things like text styles, color styles, and that is what I definitely need. So I'd highly encourage you to get those. So hit publish, and if we go back and just close that. So another thing to get is SF symbols, and what that is basically an icon library that they also provide. So if you go to developer.apple.com SF symbols, if you search for that, they actually provide this for free, and you download, and well, depending on your Mac OS, and this is going to give you the library of all the icons, and this is something we're going to be practicing and using. So everything is provided by Apple. It's just a matter of using it and practicing with it. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so we've published styles, we've got the symbols. So components, we're going to try and get in the habit of creating components, and then variants, which you'll see in a minute. And then what that will unlock if you sign up to the beta is the interactive components when we get there. So to kick it off, we're going to start with some simple sliders. So sliders are things like volume control, and this is the song length. So they're actually quite similar, to be honest. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go to R for rectangle. Straight away it's a height of 4. Again, you can study what they've done, what Joey Banks has done. We're just going to give it a width of, let's say, 200, and we're going to give it a radius of 2. So it's got that nice rounded look. And what we're also going to do is we are going to group, Command G, and we're going to Command C, Command V. We're creating two. So one is the background and then one is the value. And because we're doing a dark theme, the value is just going to be white. So what you can do is when you hit that, now again, I'm not 100% familiar with everything here, so I'm just going to go for this white here. And then we are going to, let's just bring that down to, let's say 28. And then the background, we are going to then go to dark tertiary. Okay, and what we're going to do is introduce a knob. So O for circle, and we're going to make this, we're going to lock the constraints, and it's 28 width and height, and that is also going to be white. And we're going to introduce a very simple drop shadow. We're not going to go too much into drop shadows today. We're going to make this 12%. Very quick and easy. And then there we just align it, and now we've created our very simple slider. And what we're going to do is we're just going to name that to knob. Can't spell knob today. And let's bring this up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is bring that here. So now we've got the knob, and is that centered? That doesn't look centered to me, so I'm just going to tab down. Ooh. Okay, so if I actually select all of them and then vertically align it, that's better. Okay, nice. So we have our very simple volume control, and what we're going to do straight away is convert this into a component. So you just select the group, you do Alt Command K, we're going to name this to, we're just going to call it slider. And then what we're going to do is we're going to unlock variants. So now we have another variant, and we're going to say up for that property. So by default it's off, and then when it goes up, we're then going to move the knob. Let's just check. So default and up, we're going to move that knob all the way to the end, and this is going to give a full value of 200. Okay, so those are very simple volume sliders. And then the other thing we're going to do is reuse some of this. So if I create another variant, so here what we're going to do is we're going to call this length, and we're going to get rid of, or we can just hide that knob. So we're just pretending, we're just trying to show the song length going from left to right. Well, we're not really going to show that, to be fair. It's just gonna, we're just going to have a variant for that. So what we're going to do is we got that, and then I can also, Command V, Command C, Command V, that is variant 4. I'm just going to make this a bit bigger, bring that down. Oop. Bring the whole thing down. We're already on 9 minutes. Wow, the time has flown. Jeez. Okay. So this one is going to be 200 width, and that is going to be length. So this is going to be, we're just going to call it full, or we can call it finish. So terrible naming. Okay, so we got some very simple sliders. So that's practically our sliders done. And the next thing we want to do is the toggle. And the toggle is going to be slightly smaller. So again, I'm just going to hit the O. And this is actually going to be 24 by 24. And we are going to make that the white as well. Well, actually by default it is going to be off, so we're going to try and use some different dark colors, but some of these might be too dark, so I'm going to just look at some of these. So we're going to say light, and these are off by default, so that is 24 by 24. We are also going to get the rectangle again, and we are going to make that, let's say 8. Just check again the reference. Okay, so that is 24 by 24. Let's say that that is 16. 24 by 24 times that by 2. Okay, so now if we give it a rounded border radius of 8, and we then group those, so Command G, and then in there we just align it to the left and we vertically align it. This one we need to send it to the back, so this needs to be darker than this because what is closer to you is lighter, so we just need to bring this down a darker grey. There we go, nice and simple. Okay, so I'm going to call this toggle, and then we're just going to do the same thing, so Alt Command K, and we're going to unlock the variant, so hit the variant, and then this one is going to just then say on, and what we're going to do is just vertically align that to the right. This time this is going to be white because it's on, so again it's finding the right shade. So let's say we got this one here. Again, I might be using the wrong colors, but we are practicing, is my excuse. And then here we got light gray. There we go. So I think that works. Okay, so we got our toggles, and then we're going to do our buttons. So again, the whole theme of it is got that nice round shape. Okay, so for buttons we're going to go the full rounded. So again, I'm going to hit the T, and we're just going to say, we can say button actually, and we're going to go into the text styles. So here you just hit the 4 dots. We're going to search for default. There's so many different font styles, but we're just going to look at the default, and we're going to say let's say body. We're going to hit Shift A, and what we're going to do is fill it, and we are going to find the white. We're going to also start playing around with some of these values. So here we're going to say around 8. I'm going to say 24, 8 and 24. So they do recommend buttons to be at least 44 pixels. So that means we're going to have to tweak something. So either it's going to be the line heights. The line height should probably be bigger. So, but again, what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to tweak these values. So 12, 12, okay. And then we are going to half the height to give it that full. So 46 divided by 2. Okay. So we have our very simple button. That button, we could probably make that a bit thicker. Let's search for bold. Do we have a default? Yeah, we do. So we go to that. Let's see it change the bold. Oh no, probably select the wrong one. Anyway, what we'll do is we'll do again Alt Command K, and we're just going to call this button. Should probably put the toggle to capital T, and then in there we unlock the variance again, and let's just bring that out. And all we're going to do, we're just going to make this a dark version. So again, we're going to go all the way down. We're going to say system dark, and we are going to fill that with white. Okay, so the naming, we should call this, call that dark. Just very simple stuff, playing around with components and variants. So we've done buttons. The next thing is we want to tackle these controls. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start doing the icons, or using the icons. So again, we're going to just hit the T, just go there, and then just type any symbol. Or sad. Okay, S. Now we're going to find SF symbols, so just find SF symbols, and then once it's loaded, with the first one we're going to get is play. Now the play one we're going to get is the play circle fill. So we can just copy symbol, right click, copy symbol, go in here and paste. And then here we're going to make this default. We're going to make this a bit bigger. So if we go to large, okay, the large is pretty cool. Large, title, bold, we go even bigger. Okay, so we have our very simple control. Again, I might not be using the right font sizes, but again, we're practicing. So we have our play, and then we want to have our next and back. So again, I'm just going to copy that, copy again, and what we're going to do is we are going to go back again. We're going to then look for the next, or what would it be called actually, forward. Okay, forward fill. So this is going to the next song, but this should be way smaller. So we're going to just again go to, let's try them out. So how does 28 look? Okay, maybe 22. Okay, I think 22 is pretty good. And then probably what I'll do is copy this, and we go back to SF symbols. Again, we're going to go back, fill, copy, and here we're going to paste. Okay, and then we want to get the 3 dots and the favorite, 3 dots and favorite. So again, I'm just going to copy again. Actually, do it once, go back, and we just look for, it could be more. Okay, copy that one. Okay, and then we're going to copy that. We're going to go in, and then we're going to look for a star, which is, you can favorite the song, copy, and we're just going to paste. Now I think these could be smaller, so we're going to look at headline size. Actually, we're going to look at subhead, I believe. And this one we're also going to change the subhead. Okay, so now we've got all our controls, and now we're going to combine them. But the way we're going to do this, it might be a bit different. So for example, this is going to have a variant, which is going to be a pause, and this is also going to have a variant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to then do Alt Command K, and what we're going to do here is we are going to call that play, and if we go back, we're also going to hit the variant, and let's just move these out a bit. Oop. Yeah, just lining it up there. So here we're also going to get the pause button. Okay, so if we look for pause, because when you change it, or when you hit play, it should change to the pause button, and that is going to be called pause. Okay, so we have that, and we're actually going to change these colors. to tertiary dark, tertiary dark. Probably, yeah, so these ones are actually going to be white. So we're going to change all of those to white. And so we got the variant for play and pause. This one we're going to do the same, so Alt Command K. This one we're going to call it just star. Again with my lowercase naming. Okay, we go star, and then we are going to hit the variance, and this is going to be, what should we say, on, and then we are going to change that one, so it's going to be the fill star, and the fill star should be somewhere here. So star, there we go, we got the fill, and what we're going to do is just go in and paste. Cool. Okay, so we have some variants again, so that's pretty nice. And then these, we're not really creating components for those, but we can. So, but for now we won't, right? But as an example, if I go to assets, and if I then, to make things easier actually, I'm going to put all of these in a frame. So I've hit the F key, and we are then going to make this iMac desktop, and we are going to name this frame design system video, or design system alt artist, and we're going to straight away make the background dark. So we go dark, and then we're just going to bring all of these inside that frame. Bring all of these in, and not everything is a component. Okay, so we got the star there, just pretending I'm lining it up as it's a control. So these probably need to be lighter, to be fair. I've probably done that wrong. So if I then open that up, they have to be white, of course. White and white. Okay, so we kept it very simple. So as an example, you can go to assets, and you can find the, let's see if I can find it actually. So design system alt artist, okay, because I've created a lot of different practices files, and we can start combining stuff. So if I just to drag that, and so we have that, and then here we can just bring these, and then we got the star. So what we can do is we can select all of those, Command G, we can do Shift A, into an auto layout, vertically align with a spacing of 16 between, and then we can select those two. What we're going to do is we're going to select all three, and we're going to do Shift A, and we're going to vertically align that, and the spacing between, let's say 24. So now we've got that nice control, and what we can do is we can put this into a padding. So let's just say about 40 as an example. That's quite big. Let's say 24. And we're going to fill it, and we're going to use the tertiary, maybe not tertiary. Let's see how this one does. Okay, so maybe I chose the wrong, dark elevated. Okay, we need to change it to base. So if I keep it as elevated, so I chose the wrong color for this one. Let's see, so it was system dark space primary. Okay, there we go. That's better. So now you can see it. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to give a border radius of, let's say, 30. Okay, so that's a very simple media controls. And what we're going to then do is look at thumbnails. Okay, so this is pretty interesting. So we've got, let's just bring these close together. So, yeah, don't want to put all that into an auto layout. You can, just to organize it a bit better. So Shift A, which is amazing, and then 24. I mean, that is just pretty sweet, right? You can put everything into an auto layout. Okay, so thumbnails, we're going to start with the big one. So this thumbnail, hit the R, and we're just going to say a width of, if I was to do the 8-point grid, so 96 times by 3, and then 96 times by 2. Okay, so again, I'm just going to bring this up, and I might not be following the exact size that I created on the practice file, but I think that's okay. And then what we're going to do is we're also going to get the song title. So just type anything there, and then make sure we change that to white. And now we're going to change the size. So we're going to go title 1. We're just going to say song title, and I think that's going to need to be bold. So we're going to detach. We're going to change that to bold. That might be too bold. Semi-bold. We're going to Command D, drag that down, and then it's going to be artist. And then we're going to also go to body, but that is extra small. We're going to find default again, and let's say body. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to these two, select them. We're going to do Shift A, and this is an auto layout. So what we're going to do again is we're going to do Command G to bring that into a group, and we're going to say the width of that is 288. So 288. And then this, we're going to then say, ooh, we can't make it fill. So these two, this is the thing about auto layout. Let's say fill container and fill container. Can we make the whole thing fill container? No, probably done it wrong. Doesn't matter. So what we want to then do is we want to then bring in an image. So we can group that, and we want to put some border radius on that as well. And the way we're going to do this time is we're going to fill it, and we're going to click here. We're just going to go to image, choose image, and you'll find a bunch of these on Unsplash if you follow me, or just find a collection and you can find all these nice images. And I thought that one of these images is pretty nice. Fabio Lucas, I thought that was a really nice image, so we're just going to paste that in. And we're doing it a bit different in that we're going to have a bit of glass morphism. So we're going to have it slightly up like that. We're going to fill it. We're going to go to, let's choose dark elevated primary, and actually, if I just reset all that, we go to the frame itself. We're going to fill it, and we're going to go to dark primary, and it's going to be 50%, and the padding, let's say 24. And that could also be 30. Okay, so now we got it slightly above, and we're just going to do a tiny bit of glass morphism. And from what I know, the more you do this on here, the more power it's going to take. So I think 8 might be enough on the blur. So you just have to be wary that the blur effect is going to take a performance hit. So we just have to consider those things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to group that, and we have our big thumbnail. We can just do, oh come on, K. We just call that thumbnail, or we can say large thumbnail. Okay, so I think that's pretty sweet. So up to 31 minutes. And we want to then look at lists as well. Lists. And actually, we want to do the medium-sized thumbnail as well. So the medium-sized thumbnail, go to rectangle. And I'm going to say that these are 96. Or actually, they are 128 by 128. And the border radius on these are going to be 16. And then what we're going to do is we're going to copy, we're going to grab a component, which is the play. But this time we are going to detach this one, because we want to make this a bigger one. But I don't think we can make it bigger. So what we're going to do is just detach. I'm going to say 48. Okay, I think that's a good size. And let's see if this actually works. So what I'm going to do is group these, and then we need to vertically align everything, but that's not doing well because we have to hit the resize there. So now we can vertically align everything, and we then want to bring in an image. So if we go to fill, and we then change the image, we want to go dark and light images. So let's see, there was this one where it's quite a light image, so let's paste that in, because you want to test the play button. And this one is actually see-through, which I think is actually quite interesting. It's different than what I've got up there, but I think this works out quite nicely. But what we was going to do is actually put a bit of glass morphism on that. Let's see if that even works. I don't think it'll work because this is the actual font. Yeah, it won't work. Okay, so we just have to change it up a bit, right? So go back to SF symbols, and we look for play, and we copy that. Can we just paste it like that? Cool, we pasted it in. And let's see, we went with the white button. So again, we just change this to white. And let's bring that down to, that's a pretty big button now. So 40, let's say 32. Again, we're using the 8-point grid. We then do Shift A, and we're going to give this a fixed width and a fixed height of 48 by 48. We make sure that everything is vertically in the middle, and now we can fill it, and we can say tertiary, and we can say 50%, and we can say 24. So now we've got that really nice rounded button. And is this within there? No, it's not. So what we're going to do is we are going to try to find both of these things. Command G. And we're just going to quickly go to this background. And we go to effects. Again, we go to background blur. And let's say 2 pixels. Okay, let's say 4. Okay, pretty sweet. And then, so that is the that is the play and the image. And then can we just make sure everything is in the middle? There we go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to convert this to a component. So Alt Command K. We're going to call this now thumbnail medium. Okay, so that should probably be called thumbnail large. Nice. Okay, so just to test this out, you can hit variance, and we're just going to have a lighter image, or actually no, sorry, a dark image. So let's change the image to something a bit darker. So I thought that is a really nice image. Yeah, that's too dark. Okay, so I think it might have to be, yeah, this one as an example. Yeah. So if we paste this one in, and there we go. Okay, so I think those are quite nice. And then what we're going to do now is the small version, the small thumbnail. So hit the R again, and what we're going to aim for here is 48 by 48. So this is a lot smaller now. So what this is going to be is it's going to build up the list item. So again here, we can just say border radius of 8. And we are going to then bring in the play. Now we want to use this one here. So if I was to copy that, paste it, seems to paste it somewhere else. And what we're going to do is we're going to combine these, Command G, we're going to center align. Ooh, it doesn't work like that. So you have to go in the group, and then we're going to center align everything. So this button has to be smaller. So this has to be around, let's say 24. And then the whole auto frame, shall we say 32 by 32 and 16 by 16. Okay, so now the icon has to be a lot smaller. So again, I'm going to choose default subhead, which is what we've used for these. So I think that works out pretty well. And then let's bring in an image. So fill and image, choose. So let's go for a light version just to test out if the button is still clear. Nice, very nice. Okay, so what we're going to do is, again, we're going to create a component, Alt Command K. We're going to say thumbnail small, thumbnail small. And again, we're just going to play around, right? So what we're going to do is we are going to create a variant just to test out a dark image. So go to choose, going up to 40 minutes, and let's see. Yeah, so I think that, let's just try that. It's not totally dark, but let's see how that looks anyway. Okay, I think that's fine. So yeah, we've got different versions there. And then the last bit we want to do is the list. So we want to build this. So again, I'm just going to go right underneath to remind myself, pardon me, exactly what we're going to do. So in here, we are going to look at the list items. So this can be quite painful when you're doing auto layout. So this is something I've been playing around with quite a few times. Okay, so let's just think this through. So what we're going to do, we actually need two groups. we go to assets, and then we're going to take the small thumbnail that we did, and then we're going to hit the T. We're going to just say song title. We're going to change that to white just so we can see, and let's zoom right in. So what are we going to go with? We're going to go with, again, we're looking for default styles. That's what I'm always trying to find. We're going to say headline, and then Command D to duplicate. We're going to then say body, that is still too big. Can we then say subhead? That is still pretty big. Footnote. Okay, that's better. Then artist. Okay, so what we need to do is select both and then do Shift A. And now we got two, so if we go back, we want to then combine both of these. So Shift A, and then we want to do Command G, and we want this width to be, for example, as an example, 375, which is the width of a phone. And we actually want this to fill. So we can do fill container, and that works straight away. Perfect. That is great. And then we can vertically align. And the spacing between those is going to be 16. Again, the 8-point grid. Now, what we want to introduce are some icons. And what we want to get is, we want to get star. So can we use the star, more, and then play or pause? But we don't want a circle. So go to assets, we want the star. And I dragged that in the wrong place, so I'll drag it out. And essentially this is going to be another group. So again, we want to get, this is when I should have made it into a component, but I'll just command D, drag that out. So we got star, we got that, we got the more button, and we need the pause. So again, I'm just going to Command C, Command V, and I'm going to look for the pause button without any circle. So copy symbol. And this just means that someone is playing the song, right? So we are then going to go to Shift A, and the spacing between those will be 16. And what we're going to try and do now is include this in this auto layout. So if I drag it inside, between actually, and then tab to the right, and that is pretty nice. Very nice, in fact. And so yeah, that is pretty sweet. Okay, so we got our nice list item, but what we want to do as well is, if you have a song playing and it's stuck at the footer, we're going to have the song length going along. So what we're going to introduce here is we are going to drag what we did earlier, drag that in. And yes, that's not great. We should have made this fluid, but hey, it doesn't matter. And we want to change the variant. So we're going to say length. I'm just going to detach, and I'm going to make that width. Yeah, actually, let's see if this works. So if I was to then, so here, I'm going to then, I am going to then bring that as part of that group. And then if I had to make that into an auto layout, Shift A, and spacing is nothing for some reason. Because that has a height of 28, which I think we don't want. We want that to be right on 4. Ooh. Oh yes, because of the knob. But this time we delete the knob and we resize it. There we go. And then space in between that will be 8. And this time we want the slider to be the full value, but it won't do that because it has to be another auto layout. Shift A. Okay, let's see if this even works. And the other one disappeared. Can we then say fill container? Nice. Okay. Whoa, that's quite a lot that happened in there, but you can see it worked somehow, right? So we've got our nice list item there, and then what we're going to do from there is we're going to create the component. So Alt Command K. This is going to contain other components, so let's see how this goes. Okay, so we're going to call it list item, and we're going to have a variant, so add variants, and this variant is not going to have a slider, which is not a slider. So this one is going to be, we're also going to hide the play button here. Okay, so here you got the play action, but here this is a different version where you have the play here, and we are going to hide that one, and we're going to hide the favorite. But what you have here instead is, if I was to just command and copy, can't, why didn't I just keep going back? Alt Z, Alt Z. Okay, so here I would go in, just say license. So again, this is alt artist, and again, if this is for content creation, I know that's quite, am I doing that right? I must be doing this completely wrong. So license, for some reason, let me just delete that. It's going to confuse. Okay, so if I just type license somewhere here, license, and go white, Command A, which is annoying. Okay, and then we are, that subhead already, great. If I can drag that in there, and is that now part of that group? Because I don't think it is. No, so can I bring it inside? Great. Okay, so now we have our 2 different list items. Okay, so we've tried out light and dark images, and we've done our thumbnails, and what we'll do hopefully tomorrow is we'll then do some very basic interactive components. But I know that if you do sign up, it could take up to 72 hours. So again, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and just to see the type of stuff we've done, you know, we've done quite a lot of stuff, and we've played around. And what we were using is, we was using a lot of the SF symbols, a lot of the iOS default styles. We created different thumbnails, so I think this is pretty nice. And yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and if you found it useful, please leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video.